All the information online on the front page of World Council of Churches website.
Thank you very much.
Any nation that seeks a more peaceful world, free from nuclear weapons, will sign and ratify this treaty without delay. The belief of some governments that nuclear weapons are a legitimate and essential source of security is not only misguided, but also dangerous, for it incites proliferation and undermines disarmament. All nations should reject these weapons completely before they are ever used again.
Some of the world powers, some of the nuclear powers, insist that, particularly with what's happening with North Korea right now, with its ballistic missile programs and its nuclear tests, that they argue that there is a need for a nuclear deterrent, that they need to maintain their nuclear arsenal. What do you say to that?
Thank you. First, I wouldn't call them nuclear powers because it implies that weapons of mass destruction brings power, which I don't agree with. The majority of the world does not have nuclear weapons, and I think they are the ones who show that it is possible. Nuclear weapons do not bring security and stability. We can see that right now. In fact, I think the people in North Korea or the United States or Japan or South Korea do not feel particularly safe, do not feel like it's stable. I think that they bring a lot of insecurity instead. Deterrence means threatening to indiscriminately slaughter hundreds of thousands of civilians in a few seconds. Nuclear weapons are meant to wipe out cities. That's what they're built to do. And that is an unacceptable thing to threaten with. It's something that violates humanitarian law, the laws of war that we have developed. And no state who is serious about humanitarian principles should be doing that kind of activities.
6, 8, 10. Let's begin with the man in blue here, and I will also invite journalists following us.
I think that the election of President Donald Trump has made a lot of people feel very uncomfortable with the fact that he alone can authorize the use of nuclear weapons, and there's nothing people can do to stop him. A man that you can bait with a tweet, who seems to be taking rational decisions very quickly, and is sort of not listening to expertise, it just puts a spotlight on what nuclear weapons really mean. There are no right hands for the wrong weapons. So if you are uncomfortable with the idea of Donald Trump having nuclear weapons that he's able to launch, you're really uncomfortable with nuclear weapons in general. I think that's really the message that we want to come across. There's no one who we can trust with the ability to destroy the entire world.
Also to Beatrice, what is then your take, or what is your suggestion?
We hope that this treaty will provide space for dialogue between those states that have not yet signed this treaty. We will work very hard to make sure that as many states sign it as possible and ratify it. It will be enter into force when 50 states have ratified, with which we have a goal of the end of 2018 for that.
On the crisis today between North Korea and the US.
We will also use this treaty to put pressure on those states that still say that they will never sign it. We have seen past examples of the treaties prohibiting other weapons like chemical weapons, biological weapons, landmines and cluster munitions, that these treaties do have an impact on policies and behavior on states not party to them. Whether or not they like it, it does change things when the rest of the international community declares these weapons illegal. So we have great hopes, and we will spend no effort in using this treaty, using this prize, to really make an impact on the states that haven't signed the treaty. It will take time, but we will get there, I think.
When you got the phone call from Oslo, and secondly, could you please elaborate a little bit more on